The apartment project on Green Bay's east side is expected to break ground by the end of this year. Now, as a result, City of Green Bay officials say the Packers Heritage Trail Plaza will be moved to a different location. News 10 Drew Best joins you now live in the newsroom with more details on those plans. Drew.
Bill, the city's development director, Cheryl Rainier-Wigg, tells me the statues and surrounding features at Packers Heritage Trail Plaza will be forced to move. The plaza has been a staple in the city's downtown area for over a decade. The city's deputy development director, Matt Buchanan, says the Nova North redevelopment project requires the plaza to be relocated, and the city is still exploring its options. The Nova North redevelopment, coming to the corner of Washington and Cherry Street, will hold 268 apartment units and 5,000 square feet of restaurant space at the ground level. Buchanan says developers hope to break ground on the project between October and December, pending final details. He also says the city recognizes the importance of preserving the plaza as part of the historic Heritage Trail.
The statues, of course, are important to the history of the Packers in Green Bay. They're important to a lot of people. We'd love to see them relocated properly in a new site nearby.
A statement from City Council President Brian Johnson says, part quote, "The Packers Heritage Trail is a significant attraction and piece of history for the city of Green Bay. We are committed to finding an appropriate site in our downtown for its relocation where visitors can continue to benefit from the joy and passion it ignites with football fans from across the country," end quote. Alderman Johnson tells me he's spoken with both mayors Eric Gendrick and his predecessor, former Mayor Jim Schmidt, about alternative sites to place the Heritage Trail Plaza, but no specific locations have stuck out in those conversations. Further details of the relocation are dependent on the timetable of the Nova North project. Bill?